Today's going to be a little bit of a book review kind of video, and in this little presentation, I'm going to say what textbook I would recommend for beginners who want to learn Biblical Greek. And you can see a picture of it right here, but let's move over to the next slide so I can talk about the details a little bit more. So I'm actually recommending the textbook that I used to learn Greek, and this is the information for it. So it's the Learn to Read New Testament Greek, and it's written by David Allen Black, published by B&H Academic. It's designed to be used for first-year Greek students, obviously, and it can be spread comfortably over 2 semesters because it has something like I think 32 lectures or somewhere in that neighborhood, so it fits into 2 16-week semesters or so. Now, as far as the author goes, I don't know David Allen Black, but I know people who know him, and so I'll just say something. I'll just repeat the nice thing that I heard these people say about him, and that he's actually quite a big professor at Southeastern Baptist Theological Seminary, which is a sort of low church Protestant seminary in the Baptist tradition. And even though he's a very well-known and respected professor, this person that I know who knows him, when he met him, referred to him as Dr. Black or Professor Black and all this sort of thing. And what our author here just replied to him, what he said was just, "Now, don't worry about it. I'm just Brother Dave." So he's clearly a humble man, and that was a very nice story for me to hear. So I just thought I would pass that along. So he's a very modest person, even though he's clearly smart from his, demonstrated ability to write good grammar books in Greek. So anyway, I guess we'll get to our review. So I'm going to talk about the pros and the cons. So these are the pros, in my opinion. The one is that it only covers what you really, really need to get a basic reading knowledge quickly. And that's good because he doesn't bog you down with details that don't really matter for getting a good grasp of how the grammar and the rules work. And then the second thing that I really like is that his grammatical explanations are not too technical. They're easy to follow, and so this is good for people who don't really know much English grammar to begin with. So if you were to refer to highly technical grammatical terminology, it might be difficult for people to understand. Really, if you were to do that, then only people who are already well trained in the study of their own language would be able to understand what you're saying, and most people don't necessarily have that level of training. So this book is good in the sense that it explains things in a very simple way. And so the third pro is the following. So the charts and the paradigms are easy to learn. But if there's any situation in which he can just tell you a general rule, like a little rule of thumb or something, that you can use instead, then that's the route he goes, because paradigms and charts take a long time to memorize. But if you memorize just some general rules, that helps speed up your ability to realize certain things. I had a fourth pro here, but I think I deleted it, so just don't worry about that one. I guess I just didn't finish removing it. But let's go on to the cons. Okay, so these aren't quite as many, because I think that this book is to be recommended, but I do think I should point out some things that I think could be improved. So the section on participles is the hardest to follow. And this could probably be improved, I think, because it's a complicated topic, and he tried to get it simple enough to cover one chapter, but I really think that it needed more treatment in order to be understood well, because participles in Greek are extremely important. So I think it is worth spending more time on trying to help the reader understand. At least this is the part that I had the hardest time with in the book. But to be fair, that's a hard subject. So the other thing that was difficult for me is that I don't think there was a good method in the book for remembering how to uncontract words that have been contracted. The book teaches you what the contraction rules are as if you were writing the words out, but it's often not. There aren't a lot of basic rules that he teaches you in order to help you recognize what contraction is happening when you see a contracted word. course, those of you who don't understand Greek don't really know what I'm talking about, but for those of you who know a little bit, you'll understand. And so then the third con is just something interesting to point out for those of you who happen not to be Baptist or a low church Protestant or anything. So since the author is a Baptist, the book favors the view of Scripture of some low church Protestants. Now, any book like this is going to have some kind of bias or point of view, and that's entirely fine. I'm just letting you know what this author's point of view is, because you'll see sometimes that he will refer to certain things about the scriptures that are compatible with what low church Protestants might say, but would not be something that, say, a Catholic person or an Orthodox person or a high Anglican would say about Scripture. But let's go to the conclusion. So in short, I would give this book at least an 8 out of 10 or maybe a 9 out of 10, because it's really good and I would recommend it. Anyone who asks me what I recommend, they get this book as my answer. So I'm not a major critic of Greek grammar books. That's my little disclaimer. But of the several that I have consulted, I would say that this is the best one out of those, especially for beginners. So hopefully this little review helped you if you're interested in that topic. And I guess we will meet again next time.